It's a new year, a new season, and we are underway.
Really dominating fashion here today is going to win.
2, 3, 4 for the final time.
Win number 1 of the season, only just barely.
He is going to win here at the Nashville Speedway.
Wins the Emerson Electric 100K.
Gonna be Igor Barretto's gonna eke it out.
Cup Series champion is Shane Lake in the number 15.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Welcome, folks, for the second season in a row, a little later on in the season this time, but we are once again here in Lebanon, Tennessee at the Nashville Superspeedway. This 1.333 mile concrete trioval track is sure to provide some fun action here in race number 18 of season number 2 of the NOFSRL Scots National Series. This is the Pilot Flying J 250. 42 cars going to take on this track for 38 laps, and boy, we got a good one coming in here. Let's go down trackside. We'll get you your starting lineup so we can get this pace lap started. And we'll get the cars rolling off here at Nashville. It's Alex Kelly on the pole position there in car 76. He's starting alongside Homestead winner earlier this season, Juan Rodriguez. In row number 2, we find Derek Hamill in car number 36, starting alongside the all-time great Zachary Fitzwater. In row number 3, we find Boston Jones at the 18. He is starting alongside the 82 of Trinity River Racing's Brandon Yodel. In row number 4, we find Quentin Moore, Fontana winner earlier this season. And next to him is Kansas winner, a track similar to this, Igor Barretto. And rounding out the top 10, we find Logan Alexander still searching for that elusive third career victory. He is starting alongside the 22 of Nick Martins. We will, everyone's rolling off here, so we will go green this time by. Pace car gonna make the hard left down into the pit road as they come around this time. And here on the concrete, 14-degree bankings here in these turns, 1.3 miles around this track, 38 laps, round 18 of the 2021 Scots National Series. Waiting for the green flag to fly, the Pilot Flying J 250 here in Lebanon, Tennessee at the Nashville Superspeedway is green. Alex Kelly jumps out to the early lead here at Nashville Superspeedway. Derek Hamill settles there in the second position. Zachary Fitzwater flying up through the field there on the inside in car number 59. He's bringing Q-Man Quentin Moore with him there on the inside in that 88 car. Logan Alexander, and behind him Dale Lightning Mike Cook down there on the inside as well. Inside going to be the preferred line here early on. We'll see through the rest of the race if they do eventually prefer that outside lane. That was the case last season. The outside lane was the dominant line here at Nashville, but here early on this year it seems like it's the inside, so we'll have to see how this race shakes out here. Expect the pit cycles to be around lap 30, lap 31 or so if we don't get a caution anytime soon. Could be a little sooner than that because of the smaller tanks on these Scots National Series cars as opposed to their Cabela's Cup Series counterpart. Here we are already on to lap 4. Here's Alexander making a move on Derek Hamill there for that third position. And he's going to take it with ease over the 36 as he continues to slip backwards. Juan Rodriguez and Zachary Fitzwater getting around the Hamill Racing Enterprises Barstool Motorsports Toyota there. As Mike Cook, his teammate, gets to the inside of him. Could potentially bring Keith Kent and the 83 up in that mix. And looks like the caution's out. We had a big pileup on the back straightaway there. DJ Reed was in it, Matt Tuck. A little bit of rear end damage there, not much. Braden Perez, last week's winner's in it. Carter Joey's in it. Big front end damage there. So it looks like we had a monster jam up deeper in the field. And there it is right there. Headed off into turn 3, and you'll see they will come down to the pit road now. You may be wondering why we don't have any grass up there. Well, in testing here, everyone was overrunning the turn 3 entry for green flag pit stops, so we have removed the grass there so they will not be overrunning that grass strip anytime soon here this weekend. But Alex Kelly going to bring the field down to the pit road. We're just a little bit outside that fuel window, I think. It wasn't quite open just yet, so this may end up becoming a 2-stop race here as everybody comes down the pit road this time. And we'll see if anybody ends up falling out of the race as a result of this incident, as Alex Kelly is going to get a quick stop and go there with fuel. Quentin Moore comes out second, and I don't think the standings are going to change very much, with the exception of, looks like, Fitzy. Where did Fitzy end up? He may have gotten a couple of tires there as he slid back in the field. He was 5th when they came down, and he's coming out behind Derek Hamill. Some guys look like they get fuel only. Among them, Alex Kelly, who's led all the laps so far. Quentin Moore looks like he got fuel only, as did Alexander Rodriguez and Cook. Kent, O'Neill, and Harrison potentially as well. Looks like everyone else may have gotten at least 2 tires while on the pit road. But that's the way things will shake out here under the first caution of the race here at Nashville Superspeedway. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to set it off. So watching from overhead as they come out of turn number 2, they're 3 wide. This is Wilmington going to the inside of Braden Perez there. Gets into Perez, who pushes him up into Zankala there on the outside as Perez goes around. Perez, last week's winner at that thrilling finish at Road America. DJ Reed gets collected there, turns that 41 around. Daniel Bouchard just getting by his teammate Roberto Crown Jr. as well. There's Landon Smith Jr. getting damage. Carter Joey's going to come in and hit the 41. He'll go sliding up into the 92 of Riley Snare. There's Matt Tuck and Vic Merlin coming in. And then Eric Olson may have gotten a little bit of damage there in that 78, but looks like he gets by relatively unscathed. But the same cannot be said for everyone. We may or may not have some cars out of this race. We'll see. But let's take a look at another angle. So watching again as they come out of turn 2, Brendan Wilmington just hits Perez up into Zankala. Definitely not on purpose, but there's kind of a rookie mistake there by Brendan Wilmington, making his first career Scott's National start, and that sets off a 5-6 car pileup in turn number 3, headed down the back straightaway and into turn 3 here at Nashville. But pit cycles happened, and nothing really changed much. Alex Kelly still leads here at Nashville Superspeedway after pit cycles. But anyway, the track is clear. We are good to go. So let's head to the restart here at Nashville. Still pacing here under the first caution of the race here in the Pilot Flying J250. Got the 1 to go that time by, so we will get the green flag coming to lap number 9 here at Nashville Superspeedway. Beautiful evening here in Lebanon, Tennessee. Alex Kelly has led all the laps so far in this race. He's followed after the first pit cycle of the race. Presumably, we're going to have another one. He's followed by Quentin Moore, Logan Alexander, Juan Rodriguez, and Mike Cook. That's the top 5. Then rounding out the top 10, Keith Kent, Josephine O'Neill, Joshua Harrison, Derek Hamill, and Zachary Fitzwater. That is the top 10 right now post-pit cycles. Your points leader, Alex Watts, all the way back in the 20th position. But with this being a single-file restart here, you could bet your bottom dollar that somebody's going to make that move on the inside. I would imagine Watts would try to do that. He's not stuck on the outside lane like he would be if we did double file restarts, but the pace car's coming down right now. We are ready to get this race restarted. The green flag is waving. We are racing again at Nashville Superspeedway. Oh, Quentin Moore, an excellent launch there off the restart. He's going to get to the inside of that 76 immediately. Headed off into turn number 1. and he is going to take that position away easily from Alex Kelly. Logan Alexander moves his way up to the second position there underneath that 76, and he's going to go do more than that. He's going to get the race lead from Quentin Moore, headed off into turn number 3. 3 wide, deep behind, and the car slow on the apron there. That is Max Anderson in the 56 coming down to the pit road. But Zachary Fitzwater is going to stretch away from that 3 wide there, as Logan Alexander led that time by just ahead of Quentin Moore and Josephine O'Neill, settling into that third position there. In the 64, Mike Cook and Alex Kelly now side by side for the fourth position, and we'll see if Quentin Moore can get by Logan Alexander here on the inside of turn 3 and 4. He is going to do just that, and O'Neill will get by as well as they come through the trioval. Headed off into 1, O'Neill going to take a look down low on Quentin. And Quentin tried to work that outside. You see he got a little bit of a bite there on that outside on the concrete, but looks like O'Neill is going to beat him off the second corner. Max Anderson coming back down the pit road again after just coming back out of it. Hopefully that doesn't become a recurring thing with that 56 car. But Logan Alexander now in danger of potentially losing that second position to Quentin Moore, who's trying to work that outside. Still trying to get some rubber laid up there. It's not quite there just yet. But man, when it comes in, oh, it'll be the dominant line for sure. If it does come in. It seems like the track conditions this year are much different than they were last year when we came here. Of course, that was later in the year, and obviously we're coming here in June now, so definitely sliding around a lot more than they were last year, because last year it was only the outside lane that was working until really, really late in the race. You could kind of get that inside line to work, but still it wasn't all there, and that could have actually been that we used a different version. I don't exactly know what version Trey used to make this particular version of Nashville, but I think, speaking of Trey, he did a bang-up job with this. Look at the blue walls and just all the decorations here for this one, the decals, the stickers everywhere. Just a great job with this one, Trey. You've done a fantastic job with several custom NOFSRL tracks this year, and full marks to him for another bang-up job here. As we go deeper in the field here, we see side-by-side for third position, Quentin Moore and Juan Rodriguez going at it there for third, and Moore is going to get by the 73 of Rodriguez. While they were doing the shuffling around there on the last lap, it has allowed Logan Alexander and Josephine O'Neill to pull away, and Alexander is closing in big time on that 64, headed off into turn number 3. Could he potentially make a move for the race lead, as O'Neill was glued down to the inside like a cat on Velcro that time by, and pulled away from Alexander, who ran a little wide there through turn 3 and 4. As we look deeper in the field, we see Jackson Harrison moving his way up through the field there in the car number 12. Normally we'd be talking about a teammate to Jackson Harrison as the name Declan Wellington Turner. That is not the case this week. It is Brennan Wilmington making his first career Scott's National Series start. We'll take a look where he is right now. 37th on track right now, trying to catch back up to the 92 of Riley Snare. So, obviously just trying to get a feel for things here in the Pilot Flying J250. And it's his first career start, so I'll give him some slack this one. But he is back in 37th position, not having a very good run. But it's his first one. You know, you got to start somewhere. And everyone else has had 17 races at this point prior to this one of experience and getting the feel of these cars. So, can't blame him too much. But it's Josephine O'Neill still leading this thing ahead of Logan Alexander. Quentin Moore has closed in on that 55 a little bit every lap. The top three are within a second of each other, and Juan Rodriguez just outside of that second, but he is right there as well. Fitzwater and Mike Cook gonna go at it there for that fifth position. Never mind, it's going to be Fitzy stretching away from that. Zankala's going to get by Joshua Harrison coming out of turn number 4. And don't look now, here comes Aiden Macro on the inside in that 42. He's got his teammate John Andrews out of Full Frontal Motorsports not far behind him. Both the Harrison boys right there in this mix. Jackson in front of Joshua right there in the 12 in front of the 9. Well, let's check in for the lead battle once again. Looks like everyone may be cruising around just waiting for pit cycles to happen because, of course, these smaller fuel tanks here, a bunch of these guys only took fuel on that last stop, so surely the tires have got to be wearing out at this stage of the race, and I would not be surprised if we saw some guys or gals make a dive to the pit road here. The next handful of laps here at Nashville Superspeedway. Only had one caution in this race so far, and we've been green since lap 10, I think, is when we went green again. But let's take a look at your points leader coming in real quick. Alex Watts is sitting in the 24th position, so he's lost 4 positions since the last time we checked in on him. Yeah, there he is, just ahead of Boston Jones, and just in behind the Iowa winner, Madison Tull in the 99. So he's got his work cut out for him if he wants to maintain his points lead coming out of the Pilot Flying J250 here at Nashville Superspeedway. The gap between first and second stayed about just the same that time by. It was 0.28 last time, 0.29 this time, as Quentin Moore getting awful close there to Logan Alexander for that second position. And looks like Alexander's going to run a little lower line than Moore did there, but not lower than O'Neill went, as she is going to hold on to this race lead here, coming to lap 23 out of 38. 16 laps to go now here at Nashville, and still potentially waiting for the second pit cycle of the race. As again, some guys took tires last time, some guys did not. And of course, the smaller fuel tanks on these things. Going to be interesting to see who does in fact make it home. Heck, we might need to see everybody come down onto the pit road. Apparently, Max Anderson has been disqualified from this race. Not exactly sure what's going on or what happened there, but Matt Tuck also apparently out of the race with an engine failure. That's unfortunate. But the top 40 still remain, all still within 15 seconds of each other. There's Landon Smith Jr. in 40th there with a beat-up front end. DJ Reed barely has a front end. And Carter Joey saw big front-end damage on him when he came down onto the pit road under that first caution. All 3 of them were presumably were involved in it. I haven't quite seen the replay, so I don't exactly know what all went down, but everyone's gotten all spread out now since that green flag cycle's been going on. This green flag period ever since the last restart, it's been about 16 or 17 laps since the restart. And of course, I mentioned we had pit cycles during that last caution, but not everybody came and got tires. So we will see what the varying pit strategy leads to here in the next handful of laps. Juan Rodriguez taking a look at Quentin Moore there, and with the tire fall off now, Quentin Moore has a little bit more grip there on that outside line, but will he have to dive into one? No, he will not. Juan Rodriguez will take over the tertiary position on the track right now, and he will try to run down Logan Alexander, slipping ways back from the 64 of Josephine O'Neill. Ran a little wide there through turn 3 and 4. That could allow Rodriguez to close back in that 73. Now, here comes Brandon Yodel on the inside of his teammate, potentially Igor Barreto, headed off into 1. That's for 6th place on the track, and give it to Yodel ahead of Kansas winner Igor Barreto. Barreto, no surprise he's having a good run here. Wanted a track similar to this, not in banking, but in shape. was the 1.5 miles at Kansas Speedway. That's a 20-degree bank track. Here we are at a 14-degree bank track, 1.3 miler as opposed to 1.5. Similar trioval layout, but Barretto still showing that he has amazing ability to be up at the front on these D-shaped ovals here in the Scots National Series. Always been fast this year on the 1.5 mile tracks, 1.3 miles, 1.5 miles. Could be a threat later in the season when we go to Darlington. Maybe if he keeps it up all the way to Homestead. That's another 1.5 mile finale. But we'll just have to see what happens with the rest of the season. Here is now 9 laps to go in this race. As Josephine O'Neill still has a half a second lead over Logan Alexander. Juan Rodriguez is in third. Quinton Moore fourth. Zachary Fitzwater in fifth. Only seen the one pit cycle in this race, of course, but we are on lap 30 now. The tire fall off has been tremendous. Honestly, they've made it a lot further on this cycle than I thought they would. O'Neill pulling away from Alexander. Will we see anybody make the dive to the pit road this time by? Does not look like it. Wait and see through the rest of the field here on lap 31. No, not seeing anybody come down this time. But now behind, here comes Rodriguez on the inside of Alexander for that second position. And it looks like he's going to take it handedly. And Quinton Moore is going to get to that inside of the 55 as well. But that's going to continue to allow Josephine O'Neill to pull away. Meanwhile, look at this hornet's nest that's developing here. About to be a 5-6 car battle there. Rodriguez, Moore, Alexander, Yodel, Fitzwater, and Barretto all right there in that mix. But now the gap is 1.07 seconds from O'Neill to Rodriguez. With 5.5 laps to go. If nobody needs to come down the pit road, that may have been the only cycle we'll see in this race. As they come down the front straightaway once again, we will get 5 laps to go. Still nobody come down the pit road, but the gap, 0.81 seconds. Rodriguez trying to close in on that 64, doing so. But does he have enough time to get there in the next 4.5 laps? Here in the Pilot Flying J250, if everyone can make it, presuming everyone can make it to the end of this race. We will keep an eye on things. Look at this gap that's developed between Macro and everyone back here in this group. Lightning is going to be ahead of it now, but it's 3.5 seconds from 12th to 13th because everyone's just been going at it maliciously. Trying to, well, not trying to separate the field, obviously, trying to just get track position, but what that's done is it's allowed these front people who didn't do a whole lot of overtaking there in the mid part of this race to pull away, and they've pulled away greatly, and now they are about to have a tremendous finish here at Nashville Superspeedway. 3 laps to go that time by, and look at the gap, 0.3 seconds. O'Neill, Rodriguez, and Moore all right there left to battle for this victory. O'Neill slides a little wide. Rodriguez going to close in a little bit more. Quinton Moore's going to try the over-under off of turn number 4, coming to 2 laps to go here at Nashville. 0.31 the gap. Moore's going to have the low line going into one of the big dive. He could be going after Josephine O'Neill now. O'Neill got in a little high, then moved to the bottom. And now Moore's going to be right there looking to take his second win of the season. O'Neill looking for her first Scots National victory here at Nashville. Coming around for the white flag this time. 1.3 miles are all that's left in the Pilot Flying J250. Last lap is underway at Nashville Superspeedway. Rodriguez going to take the low line, headed off into 1, going for the lead on O'Neal. They're going to be side by side coming out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Rodriguez is there on the inside. Could he steal this one away? A big push from Igor Barreto. We're going to be side by side when they come around this time. Rodriguez looking to steal it away on the inside. O'Neal up on the top side. Rodriguez is going to clear off the final corner. And on the last lap pass from third place, Juan Rodriguez wins the Pilot Flying J250 here at Nashville Superspeedway. Goodness me. Didn't even need another pit cycle there. They just made it home. Juan Rodriguez did exactly the right thing. He hung back there, let everybody use up their stuff, and then he quietly, methodically worked his way up to the front, and it helped having that push there from Igor Barreto, who, hey, he finished in the 3rd position there. Told you he was fast on these tracks. How about his teammate Brendan Yodel there, finishing in 5th. Quentin Moore back to 4th. And Josephine O'Neal still finished in 2nd after dominating this race. Disappointing, sure, but she'll be back to race another day. So we'll take a look at your finishing results here in the Pilot Flying J250. Juan Rodriguez wins ahead of Josephine O'Neal, Igor Barreto, Quentin Moore, Brandon Yodel, Logan Alexander, Justin Zidell, Mike Cook, Zachary Fitzwater, and Jordan Lopez rounds out the top 10. And we'll scroll through the rest of your standings here. Brady Perez, DJ Reed, the only ones finishing a lap down in this race. Max Anderson, 41st finish after disqualification for whatever reason. And Matt Tuck was the first car out of this race. He went out with an engine failure. Your points leader, Alex Watts, back up to the 19th position there in this race. Potentially will hold on to the points lead here coming out of Nashville, but we'll have to see how that shakes out. But that's going to finish us up here at Nashville Superspeedway. Congratulations on Juan Rodriguez. This is his 2nd career victory. Homestead was not. I was thinking of Jeremy Baylor, who won at Martinsville in Season 1, but Juan Rodriguez won at Homestead to kick off the season, and he has finally returned to victory lane here in race number 18 at Nashville. 12 races are all that remain after this one until we crown a champion in late September at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Hope everyone enjoyed this race. We'll see you tomorrow for the Ruby Tuesday 400 here in the Cabela's Cup Series, right here at Nashville Superspeedway. 60 laps. It's going to be a fun one. Hope everyone is safe and doing well. And I'll let you go now. I've gone on long enough. We'll take a look at your driver's standings, your owner's standings, wrap it up here at Nashville. Until the next race, y'all take care, stay safe, and have a good one.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.